With an influx of new subscribers joining the channel, hello by the way, my name's Ben, but I go by August Radio Project. You can call me either. I'm now getting a lot of questions about my setup. The equipment I'm using, what are the EQ settings, what effects patches am I running, what's my guitar and how do I set it up, what strings do I use, is it all the Mackie Showbox or is there some more going on? So I'm taking it as a sign that I should probably make a video about this, like an update of my current setup and how I set it up. So whether I'm busking on the street or playing gigs, here is the current 2025 ARP rig rundown and everything I do to get the sound I get. Welcome to rehearsal, yeah! Oh, and while I do that, we're having a rehearsal. Let's start with the big one, shall we? The all-in-one performance rig, the Mackie Showbox. The reason I sound as good as I do is almost entirely down to this thing. Other than, like, you know, the fact that I've been playing for 23 years and, I don't know, probably put in about 30,000 hours of practice.
Give it a quick tune.
In terms of equipment though, this really is to blame. This is the piece de résistance, as they say. The Mackie Showbox comes in at 200 watts, which is all the power you're gonna need as a working musician, especially if you're just doing solo stuff. It's got 6 channels, it's got built-in EQ and effects that apply to each individual channel, and it also has built-in compression. Game changer. It also saves your settings for each channel, so every time you turn it on, it's exactly as you set it up. So you only need to dial in the sound once and that's it. You've got it. There is the ability to save multiple presets too. Channels 1 and 3 are XLR inputs for mic leads, and channels 2 and 4 are jack inputs for instruments. Channels 5 and 6 are a combined send-return kind of deal. Channel 5 and 6 is also where you control your Bluetooth, so if you're having audio running from a phone or something, you can even mix the EQ to that. Madness. As well as tinker with the level. There's not many portable amps and PAs out there that are offering this much customization, so bear that in mind. Channel 1 is my go-to vocal channel for both busking and gigs. I rarely change it, maybe adjust the volume slightly, depending on room size, street size. I put the gain and volume at the same level, about 3/4 on the dial. For bass EQ, I notch it up too. Mid, exactly the same, and treble, exactly the same. So I'm just notching the whole EQ up a couple of levels to really just get more punch out of those frequencies. The compressor, I notch up 3, and honestly, the compressor, I would say, is one of the biggest game changers of this amp. If you're using a amp or PA that doesn't have built-in compression, I would seriously consider looking into buying some kind of compressor pedal and running your vocals, specifically your vocals, through it. Vocals with compression just equals magic. I'm not too technical on all these things, but I believe that a compressor, it just gets rid of all the frequencies you're not using and lets all the frequencies you are just punch through. It also puts like a nice shield on the gain, so it's not distorting. It just hits through, you know? Amazing. Effects-wise, I put on large chorus and I put on a large room reverb. The Mackie Showbox has many inbuilt effects. I don't actually know the number, but a lot. It's got multiple different reverbs. I go with the large room. I just think it's the best one, personally, personal opinion. The reason I put chorus on the vocal, one of my favorite pastimes is watching live music. If I can't go to see it in person, I like to watch it on YouTube. There are a lot of bands these days releasing live sets professionally recorded where they get the audio right from the desk. They might even give it a little mix, post-production, and then they put the live video out. And I've noticed a lot of vocalists have chorus on the vocals, even if it's just subtle. I just hear chorus on the vocal and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try that. It just gives it a little edge. You might not even notice it in the audio for the video, but it is there. And I think it just gives it a little more punch, a little more smoothness too. Especially if you've like played for 4 hours and your voice is starting to rasp on those long busking days. Channel 4 is my acoustic guitar channel, I've got this set up as follows. The volume and gain again are about 3/4. I prefer using the volume dial that's actually on the guitar to control that volume. I'd say volume wise, if you're just an instrument and a vocal, you want the vocal to be louder. You don't want to be drowning your vocal out with your instrument. And I do this by reducing the volume on the guitar, and then on the showbox it's just the same as the volume of the vocal. For the EQ, I have the bass on neutral, completely flat. The mid I notch up 3, and the treble I notch up 2. My guitar has a lot of depth. The Michael Kelly that I use, it's got a really nice low end, so I don't feel the need to stick any more low end on. And with guitar, you're really looking for mid-tones. That's where the guitar's really sort of wanting to punch through in those sound frequencies. The high end just gives it a bit of brightness. Again, I kind of recommend fiddling around with it. If you're really stuck, look up some online presets. There are some good guides that tell you what kind of guitar tone you might be looking for and then how to set that up. If you want the ARP guitar tone, you're going to need to get yourself a Michael Kelly and then use that EQ. The compressor is up 3 notches. Again, compression just working magic. Working magic. Somebody asked me recently if it was true that my donations went up once I got the Mackie Showbox, and yes, that's true. Not in any kind of linear fashion. Plotting my donation totals over the last 1.5 years, it definitely went up. Obviously, I've improved too because I've done all that playing. But I would put the majority, the reason that the Mackie Showbox has improved my donations, down to the compressor. Yeah. The compressor is so cool, man. Effects wise, I have the phaser on the guitar, just 2/3 of the way. And again, the large room reverb. Why do the phaser? I just think it sounds more interesting. Again, it's subtle, so you might not even really notice it in the audio of these videos, but there's something that just gives it a little more, gives it a little edge, you know? Again, I recommend experimenting with these things. Phaser is another thing I've heard other bands and musicians put on their acoustic guitars. So I'm just, as Austin Kleon would say, stealing like an artist and going, oh, well, it works for them, so let me try it. The large room reverb, again, I just prefer the sound of it. There are spring reverbs on there. There are reverb patches, reverb plates. The Mackie Showbox is just an insane machine. It's crazy that you've got this much customization on each channel. It's all built in there. There's no need for any pedals or extra gear. Wild. I don't use channel 3. It's just an experimental channel. Sometimes I whack the mic in it and play with the effects, but I don't use it. And channel 2 is my electric guitar channel. Now, I've only ever busked once with my electric guitar, and after a play around with the sound, I did manage to get quite a nice tone out of the Mackie Showbox. But the Showbox itself isn't really built as a guitar amp or anything.
Maybe give that one another go. A lot of lyrics in that, a lot of lyrics.
So if you're primarily focused on getting a nice guitar sound, again, I would look at getting pedals and just using the Showbox as more of a PA. That said, the inbuilt effects on there don't sound bad. When I'm rehearsing for the theatre show, I play a lot of electric guitar in the theatre show and distorted rock and roll electric guitar. So I do use the overdrive effect that's built into the Mackie Showbox for that, and it doesn't sound bad. It sounds like an inbuilt overdrive on a PA. Compared to plugging into that Marshall DSL-40, I mean, yeah, there's no need to even compare them. Those valves, man. Ooh. So yeah, again, if you're like a soloist and you play electric guitar to backing tracks or something, stick with your pedals.
So one of the things I'm doing this rehearsal for is the theatre show I'm part of. If you didn't know, I'm part of a theatre show that's touring the country. We're about halfway through the tour. The tour lasts all year. And although I've been playing these songs like a lot because I've been playing lots of shows, I still like to run them each and every time I sit down to rehearse. Many of the songs I play in the show are also in my busking set too, so it kind of helps. But if you've been watching these videos for a long time and you've heard me play these songs in other videos, you might not realise that all of the songs I play in the theatre show now have backing tracks that I put together. So they sound way different, and this is my favourite song of the show, by far. It's also one of my favourite songs that I play cover-wise, just when I'm busking, or even like at pub gigs and events and other things I play. But it sounds so epic with the backing track, so this will be your first chance to maybe hear it with the backing track. Pretty exciting. So I've got my phone connected to the Bluetooth of the Mackie, which has its own channel. The Bluetooth has its own channel, so you can even whack effects on the Bluetooth channel if you want. But I've just got it up on the volume, and then all of the EQ is set to neutral. So yeah, here we go.
By far the coolest feature on the Mackie Showbox, as I mentioned in the video I made when I first got it, go and check it out if you haven't already, very proud of that video, is the SD card slot that you can record directly onto. Some of you ask, does it record stems? Do you get individual stems of each instrument or track you're recording? No. It's just one master WAV file of what you've played. So both the vocals and the guitar just on one audio file. So it means you can't really do much post-production, but if you've got your setup right, you're not gonna need to. It sounds freaking awesome. And honestly, that for me is a game changer because it means less work when I make these videos.
What if I run away to Mars? Would you find me in the stars?
I just whack that audio file on, I mix it with a bit of camera audio, and that's what you hear. There is absolutely no post-production done to it whatsoever. It's exactly as it's sounding through the Mackie Showbox. The only thing I do post-production wise is I whack a compressor on the audio for the entire video, for everything. So that's it. Which is freaking so cool, dude. Back in the day, you used to have stacks and stacks of compressors and all these modules, and you'd have to go to big recording studios to get this sound that doesn't even sound anything like what the Mackie Showbox can do now, just at a click of a button. That's bonkers, man. Here's a quick disclaimer that you need to know. Even if you use the exact setup that I have, you use the Showbox, you do all the EQs the same, all the effects the same, the compressor's on, you aren't gonna sound like me. Even if you've got the same guitar as me, we're gonna play guitar in different ways. We're gonna have different voices, we're gonna use different frequencies, we're gonna have different projection. There's so many variables just out the gate. You can look at what I'm doing as inspiration and then maybe use it as a base and build on that. But if you're looking to sound like me, you just aren't. Just like I'm not gonna be able to sound like you. We're humans and we're all built differently, but that's cool. Uniqueness should be celebrated.
When I run away to Mars, would you find me in the stars? Would you miss me in the end? Firing out of oxygen when I run away to Mars. That's how it goes, man.
Let's move on to the guitar then, the Michael Kelly Ziracote. That's the name of the model. I think you pronounce it like that. I've always called it the Ziracote, but I looked it up and apparently it's pronounced Ziracote. That Michael Kelly guitar is very special to me because it's the first thing that ever got sent to me as a result of making these videos. I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers yet when I got sent that. A dude reached out to me who worked for their marketing department and was like, dude, I really like your videos. They're really cool and I like to watch them. I want to send you a guitar. Don't worry about reviewing it. Don't worry about mentioning it. I just want to send you it, which to this day still blows my mind. When they sent me the website to choose the guitar, I just chose that one because I thought the wood looked cool, but on the website it didn't have the strike through the center. It didn't have that other color of wood that works almost like a natural racing stripe. So when I got the guitar, I wasn't expecting it to look like that, and I opened it up and I genuinely cried. I bawled my eyes out. It was like 2.5 years of solid work had just been rewarded in the form of a guitar of all things. Like, that's like the nicest thing you can give a guitarist. As for specs, it's a really reasonably priced guitar. It retails about £400, which is absolutely bonkers considering its quality of sound and quality of build. I was recently back at my folks' house and I came across my old pile of Total Guitar magazines and decided to look in one for nostalgia's sake. And in the back of the magazine, they always did reviews, and they had a review of a Michael Kelly electric guitar. I was like, wow, 2004, these guys were doing that then. And the conclusion of the review was, this guitar is so good for its price that you should look into getting one before they realise that they're wildly undervaluing themselves. And I guess 20 years later, they're still undervaluing themselves. So if you're looking for a really decent guitar at a reasonable price, I highly recommend Michael Kelly. This guitar has such a natural depth to it. It's not like a lot of those small Martin guitars or those thin Taylor guitars, which will be much more jangly and you will want to look at that bass EQ. This, it's just got the sound right out the gate. It does have some tone buttons on it. It has a precision button and a contour button. I'm not really sure what these do. I keep the contour button tapped in and the other one and the precision out. I used to put the precision in and it kind of makes like it dampens the sound slightly. Gets rid of the kind of like higher frequencies, I'd say. But I recently decided to stop putting that in, and that's when I started getting a lot of comments saying, I really like the way you sound, dude. So, keep that button out, I guess. I use a set of 12 gauge strings and I use D'Addario's XT strings. I was using Elixir strings after my buddy Jeff Bryant, shout out to you Jeff, recommended them because they come coated and that means that they last longer and they sound fresher for longer. When I went to get my last set of Elixirs, the dude in the guitar shop told me that D'Addario have recently acquired Elixir and they now own them and they're basically the same thing. But he said to get these XTs, very much the same thing as the Elixirs. They come coated, they stay fresh for longer. When you're playing guitar as much as I play it, you know, 4 hours in the street, 2-hour gig here, theatre show there, 3-hour practice here, the strings die pretty quickly, so I tend to change them every 3 to 4 weeks, or more frequently if I'm breaking them.
Cool, I'm proud of that song. I think it's going to turn out good.
The vocal mic I'm using is the Mackie EM89D. It's like a Mackie's version of the Shure SM58. The Shure SM58 is the OG microphone. It's the one that you would draw if someone said, can you draw me a microphone? And it's a great mic, and if you get one, you probably won't need to buy one for a long time, like 10 years or so. But it's more of the pricey end of dynamic microphones, whereas the Mackie is about 2/3 of the price, and I would say it's just as good. One thing I would say about vocal mics though, and I learned this the hard way, is always bring 2 of them with you, wherever you go. So I have 2 Mackie EM89Ds, because if one were to break, I would still be able to carry on. My old microphone broke midway through a busk, actually in Stevenage, and Mackie were kind enough to send me 2 of their mics, and I honestly, not just because they sent me them, but honestly, they're really good microphones. They do the job. I wonder how many of these microphone brands just use the same components and probably built in the same factories. Probably most of them. It's up to you what mic you want to use. It might affect the way you EQ things slightly, but probably not much. Again, that would be more down to your voice, how your voice sounds naturally.
I won't make it all the way through this, but I think I've established the key.
Additional gear I'm being asked about somewhat frequently. My hand trolley that I use to get around and carry my gear. It's just a standard sack trolley. The capacity is 150 kg. You can get them on Amazon. I actually got mine from B&Q, which is like a Home Depot of the UK. It's just a DIY store. I do have an affiliate link in the description to a hand trolley that's very much the same. So if you want to look at that, go for it. Carrying things on the hand trolley using bungee cords to wrap them around is a game changer. If you want to busk at any frequency, not just like here and there, oh my goodness, you want to get yourself a trolley. It will save your shoulders all those aches and pains. Oh my goodness. It took me way too long to get a trolley. I was quite deep into my busking journey before I eventually got one, and I used to just carry everything. Madness. The other thing I get a lot of questions on is my card reader. I use the Zettel card reader. It used to be that Zettel was the only card reader you could use as a busker because it's the only card that came with repeat pay function. But now several others also come with that function. Repeat pay function is what you're looking for. This is the ability within the card reader so that you can set up a transaction, and as soon as somebody taps that card reader and the transaction goes through, it just reloads itself. So all you have to do is set it up once at the start of your busk, and then for the rest of your busk, it's there, it's good to go. The Zettel's pretty reasonably priced, and it links up with your bank account. Every time somebody taps, that money eventually lands in your bank account, and they take like, I think it's 1.2% of each transaction. So mine is set to £2.22. If somebody taps it, I get £2.19. I did see on Reddit, and by the way, I want to thank you, whoever this was. Somebody mentioned me on Reddit, August Radio Project, and it was a comment made to a thread that was asking about whether card readers are worth it. And the person on the comment had said that August Radio Project says that he makes 90% of his donations from card taps, which is not true. I don't know where you got that information from. I would say that card tap wise, you get about 5 to 10% of your overall donation total from the card. It's still 90-95% cash. And if anyone says, whoa, cash is dying, people don't carry cash anymore. No, you don't carry cash, which is why you're saying that. Go busking a few times and you'll notice that most people actually do still carry cash. Either that or go and stand near an ATM for 4 hours straight and watch how many people take cash out. Here in the UK, it's not cashless at all. If you think that, it's probably because you don't carry cash. Assumptions, man. Never make assumptions on the internet. I told you that before.
Yeah, I have no idea how that's gonna work. But you get the idea. There's lots of work to do. As always, there's always work to do.
Oh, crazy day rehearsing, man. I love rehearsing because I love playing music, but it doesn't quite hit the spot to doing it in front of people, you know? Like a busk scenario or a gig scenario. I can't wait to get back out there, man. Oh, I've been busy writing my book. If you didn't know, I'm writing a book all about busking. It's literally called A Musician's Guide to Busking. Official title, I think, is Busking is the Answer. A Musician's Guide to Busking. The first draft is complete. I'm currently in the editorial stage still, doing some illustrations. Oh, I didn't put a date on when it will be ready for release, but I'm very confident that it will be out before the end of summer. I hope this video was somewhat useful, a bit more of a chill, sit down and talk kind of vibe, as well as rehearse. If you did like it, then make sure you do give it a like, subscribe if you're new around here. If you want to leave me an online donation, there is the super thanks button, or alternatively, I do have a Patreon page, monthly donation in return for some exclusive stuff like the first chapter of the book. Damn, man, so cool. I do have an album out, it's called Keep Showing Up. You can only get it from me, direct to fan model, man. It's available on my website, augustradioproject.com/shop. You can either get the CD, which I will send out to you, or you can get the digital download. If you buy the CD, by the way, you get the digital download too. So you can still listen to it on your iPhone. Thank you so much for showing up. Once again, every single Monday I post a video, August Radio Project. Peace, love, and happiness.